Hello, this is Randy Harris, and in case you've never used this function on your laptop, I thought you might be interested to know how to do it. So just wanted you to know I'm just using the active software, and I put it up into this little thing, and I chose the full screen recorder. I do full screen because I never choose the right part of the screen if it's the small screen. And then I just clicked record. I can also click pause if I want to pause the recording and go on. Alright, so then the next thing I did was I got my lesson plan out, and I just told them what I was going to do. I was going to share strategies about Kagan Strategies with them for learning. And if my presentation goes short, I always have some kind of activity or other thing to do. And this is a diversity video, so I added that onto there, but I actually didn't get to do it. What I did do, though, and this is the part that you're going to like, is I just basically showed these forms, these handouts that were given to us by Mr. Knox and Carrie of the Kagan Strategies. And I just used each one, and I talked about it some. I think this year I'm just going to do one at a time. On this particular day, I went over all of them like I'm going to do with you, but I'm going a lot faster with you. Alright, so you can scroll down to the bottom and let them look at all the strategies. You can talk about each one. Find someone who has the same shoes as you. Mix, pair, share. Everybody knows that one. I like Rally Robin. It's not on this card, but Round Robin made me think of it. Numbered heads together. That is really cool because the kids really don't know who they're going to get to be in their team until they switch tables a lot of times. They can do numbered heads together, or that's a good way to make groups too. Alright, anyway, so the thing I like about this first card that I'm showing you is if you go all the way to the bottom, or the last page, you have this page, and if you look up here, like if you're looking for something specific, if you want the kids to learn decision making, okay, then you can find the activities on this card and other cards that support decision making. They have a star if it really supports it good, very well, and then it has like a little dot if it supports it kind of, but not great. That's kind of what I got out of the stars and the dots, and it's been a really good resource. The actual key says highly recommended for the stars. Alright, so the next card I want to show you is this one. It's the second language learner card. This I definitely would go over with my teachers of my ESOL kids, because I want to make sure that they understand how to get the language in them, and how to support them and give them what they need. If you look at the Kagan Structures here, it talks about kinesthetic symbols, echoing, formations, window painting, which is interesting, and Rally Robin. Well, we'll talk about a couple of those. Rally Robin is, like I said, my favorite. It's just like you have the students start. They're in a little group, and one says, they're going to do the alphabet. They're in kindergarten. One says A, the next says B, the next says C, the next says D, and so on until they get done. Or they can count that way, or they can do something even higher learning. If they're studying aerobic and anaerobic structures, one can name aerobic, the next one anaerobic, and just some different types of exercises or something like that, depending on what level they're at. And we will talk about differentiation in a couple of minutes. I wanted to show you on this particular card, it has the stages of oral language acquisition. These closely correlate to the stages that we have in our access testing. And when we get those levels 1 through 6, these are close correlations. And it shows you that these things are good for kids at which level. So these are some just already ready to use things that you can take away from this today. Window painting. Everybody always wants to know what window painting is. I don't know why. But window painting is students draw pictures of the sequence of events from a story. Well, why do you call it window painting? Well, it's an interesting name because a lot of people want to know. Students draw attributes of the country, of the culture, of steps, how to do things, even in a word problem, steps in a word problem, and they show it with pictures. Pictures, numbers, and words, just like we're taught in numeracy. And those are the Kagan structures, but you can also look at these types of language teams. I thought this was interesting. Most of the time we're doing kind of a random language team, but sometimes you want to do these types of language teams where you have different abilities or the same ability. So think about that. You would have higher numbers of kids. I only have a few in each class, so usually I don't have that luxury, but you could do that and it would be wonderful for your children. Next up is graphic organizers. I feel like we've beat graphic organizers to death in the past, but I want to revisit them because the ones on this card are really interesting, and I think some of them are very, very well done. I like this ideas for graphic sequence organizers. I like that. I thought that was a good idea. I love the step chart. I think that helps us to show kids how that you're building steps towards a goal or a final product or something like that. And you can even do that with your lessons, by the way. Sometimes I say, okay, in the lesson today we're going to do this, but we're going to do this and this and this, and finally we'll have this in the future, and that way they know that we're working towards something, and that's a step, and it gives them a good concept of what that is. Timelines are great for our kids. I can't say enough about them. And you know, I know a lot of people use Venn diagrams, but check this one out with the squares. It's just different. You see it different, and the kids see it different, and all of a sudden it's something that they can use and they can latch on to, and because it's different, they plug in and pay attention. And that's what we're going to be looking for this year, is people to be plugging in, paying attention, seeing what you're doing. I like the no wonder learned chart. I thought those were cool words to use instead of, you know, our regular KWL. Where is the last one? Yeah, this is the last page, but oh, embedded concepts. There's one of these in the in one of our math books that we used whenever I was getting my math endorsement, and that embedded concepts chart helped me understand about shapes more than anything else that I saw. And we had been talking about shapes for a month, and all of a sudden it all came together, and I was like, oh, now it makes sense. So don't be afraid to use something like that, or something that you think, wow, I don't know if people will get this or whatever. Throw it out there. If they don't get it, move on. There's another one. Alright, enough on charts. Cooperative roles. This is fun. The kids love it, but you have to teach it. This takes a lot of groundwork. You have to teach them what a checker is, what a cheerleader is, what a coach is, and what they do. And I like these things where it's like what they say. Let's all do a team handshake. Let's all give ourselves a round of applause. Let's go slowly, step by step. Let's try it again. It gives them examples of what to say. Our kids don't always know what to say, so this is perfect for them. Praiser, question commander, I like that one. Gatekeeper, but the reflector has to be my favorite. Alright, so far, and this is like where they just go back and they say, okay, let's reiterate this. So far we've agreed on this. How well did we cooperate? Did everyone participate in this? What's going on? And so it's kind of like a little checkup to make sure everybody's input into the group. It also has some other little ideas here. that you can use. And these are all on cards that you should have at your school right now, waiting for you. Differentiating instruction, that's what we do best as ESOL teachers. We need to be differentiating everything that we do. I really like the rubrics more than anything, but not all kids get rubrics. Sometimes you need to have portfolios and go over the portfolio with them. There's no sense in keeping a portfolio of work that the students never look at. Also, the instructional strategies that you can use with these can be used as part of your Kagan strategies. You can pull some of those out. Obviously, I'm an ESOL and music teacher, in case you didn't know. So I use the musical rhythm things, songs and chants and jingles and things like that. I use those all the time. But you know, they're used to hearing it. They hear it with me in music, then they hear it with me in class. Even though it's a different type of thing, they recognize it as a chant or a jingle or something like that. We do a lot of bodily kinesthetic stuff too, by the way. Alright, and then the tips for differentiating curriculum. This is a great list. Probably my favorite thing on it, I'm thinking, is probably the one close to the bottom. It says make material personally relevant. Because if it's relevant to the kids, if it's something that they know about, something from their life, whatever, if you can make that connection, then all of a sudden they're just turned on and they're loving it, and they like it. Alright, and so all of these things, if you'll just sit and read these cards, don't read them all at once. Read one page of one card a week and use 2 strategies from that or something like that, and that would just be so good. Oh, there's my sign-in sheet. Didn't mean to show you that, sorry. Plan book. Let's go to plan book. If you have plan book and you're using plan book, which I think we all should be, you can go on plan book and use Kagan Strategies. Now this is just my pre-Kers. I came up with a little Kagan lesson, but I mean, this is just really for y'all. I'm not actually going to do this with them, but I wanted to show you the examples. But more than that, I wanted to show you the instructional strategies. You click on instructional strategies, use your plus sign, go to my strategies, and look for Kagan Structures. All of a sudden you've got a list of all of those things that we were talking about. I just put it in the wrong place. Alright, so we've got everything that we just talked about. So on this one you see I've checked Rally Robin and Snowball. Those are the ones that I chose to use with my pre-Kers. So I go back and I pick some standards. I want them to describe characteristics of music from different cultures. We're also learning to count music. We're counting time, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my lesson is going to be something like, the students will say the numbers 1 to 5. Now I did 1 to 5 because I'm going to have one group of 5, I know. Otherwise I would have just done 1 to 4. So they'll count. The first one will say 1, the next one 2, the next one 3, and so on. Alright, and then the snowball, they're going to make up a little story. Let me go back to my standard. See how it says characteristics of music from different cultures. Alright, so they're going to say, the first one's going to say, I like rap music. And the second one will say, well, they're going to add to it, I like rap music, and I like how it goes ba-doom ba-doom. And then the next one's going to say, I like rap music, and I like how it goes ba-doom ba-doom, and I love the rhyming words. And so you can see how they would add to each one of those things. And what's happening is your kids are hearing it over and over. They're learning how to pronounce the words, say the words. They're learning the vocabulary, and it gives them a chance to try it out in a safe environment. Alright, I hope you liked my presentation. I think that's plenty long enough. I hope you guys have a great day. I miss being there with you because y'all are my people. But I have to be with my music people today. And I will catch up as soon as possible. Have a great day and God bless.